July 21, 1944. Saipan, the air in the Mariana Islands, is thick, heavy with the drone of insects and the distant, gut-punching thud of artillery. U.S. Marines of the 2nd Division fight their way through a jungle that seems to swallow light and sound. The sharp crack of M1 Garands echoes as they target Japanese pillboxes carved into the volcanic rock. Lieutenant Colonel Justice Chambers leads a desperate charge up Mount Tapacho, his men hurling grenades that tear through the dense foliage with flashes of fire and screams. You can almost feel the ground shake as Sherman tanks grind forward, their 75mm guns spitting fire at bunkers that answer back with the relentless chatter of Type 92 machine guns. This isn't just another island battle. This is Operation Forager. Its goal, to seize the Marianas, a critical chain of islands that will put America's new super weapon, the B-29 Superfortress, within striking range of Tokyo itself. Out on the vast blue expanse of the Pacific, Admiral Raymond Spruance commands the mighty Fifth Fleet from the deck of the cruiser Indianapolis. His battleships, like the USS Tennessee, unleash a hurricane of steel, their 14-inch shells turning Japanese coastal defenses into nothing more than dust and craters. The Japanese Navy, a shadow of its former glory, sails to meet them. Admiral Jisoburo Ozawa's mobile fleet launches its planes, hoping for a decisive victory. But the tide has turned. The battle that follows on June 19th and 20th becomes known as the Great Marianas Turkey Shoot. American Hellcat fighters swarm the skies, their 50 caliber machine guns ripping through the lightly armored Japanese planes. One pilot, Lieutenant Commander David McCampbell, radios back, "This is like an old-time turkey shoot," after downing 7 enemy aircraft in a single sortie. The Japanese pilots, many of them inexperienced replacements for the veterans lost at Midway, fall from the sky in trails of smoke and flame. In one day, 346 Japanese planes are destroyed. 3 of their carriers are sunk, including the brand new Taiho, which goes down in a catastrophic explosion after a single torpedo from the submarine Albacore ignites her fuel vapors. Back on Saipan, the fighting grows more and more savage. The Japanese commander, General Yoshitsugu Saido, orders his remaining troops into desperate banzai charges. Under the eerie light of flares, waves of soldiers screaming banzai surge against the marine lines with bayonets fixed. Sergeant Major Thomas McKinney rallies his platoon, his Thompson submachine gun barking defiance into the night as bodies pile high. The Japanese are not the only ones to die. Tragically, thousands of civilians, terrified by propaganda about American soldiers, leap to their deaths from the island's high cliffs, entire families choosing the sea over surrender. After 3 weeks of brutal combat, Saipan falls. The cost is staggering. Nearly 3,000 Americans are killed. But for Japan, it's a catastrophe. Over 30,000 of their soldiers are dead, including General Saito, who commits ritual suicide in his command cave. The shockwave of Saipan's loss reaches the highest levels of the Japanese government. Prime Minister Hideki Tojo, the man who led Japan into the war, is forced to resign. The empire is beginning to crack, and now the Americans have their airfields. From the newly won bases in the Marianas, the 21st Bomber Command unleashes its B-29s. These are massive silver birds, each carrying 10 tons of bombs. On November 24, 1944, the first raid strikes Tokyo. Soon, General Curtis LeMay takes command and shifts tactics. He orders low-level night raids, not with high explosives, but with incendiaries designed to burn Japan's wooden cities to the ground. The night of March 9, 1945, sees the deadliest air raid in human history. Operation Meathouse, over 300 B-29s rain firebombs on Tokyo, creating a monstrous firestorm. The winds it generates are like a hurricane. The heat so intense it boils canals and suffocates people in their shelters. In a single night, an estimated 100,000 people are killed, more than the initial death toll of Hiroshima. From the air, the glow of the burning city is visible for over 100 miles. Yet, incredibly, Japan fights on. In October 1944, the seas around the Philippines become the stage for the largest naval battle in history, the Battle of Leyte Gulf. Admiral Bull Halsey's Third Fleet is lured north by a decoy force, leaving a small group of escort carriers and destroyers dangerously exposed. The main Japanese fleet, under Admiral Takeo Kurita, steams through the San Bernardino Strait, catching the small American force, Taffy 3, completely by surprise. What follows is one of the most heroic and desperate actions in naval history. Facing battleships, Lieutenant Commander Ernest Evans of the destroyer USS Johnston signals, "This is a fight against overwhelming odds," and charges head-on into the Japanese fleet. He fires his torpedoes, scoring a hit on a cruiser before his small ship is torn apart by enemy shells. The sheer audacity of the American destroyers and the constant harassment from their aircraft makes Admiral Kurita believe he is facing a much larger force. Haunted by fuel shortages and confusion, he turns back, sparing the vulnerable American landing force. The battle is a disaster for Japan. They lose 4 carriers, including the Zuikaku, the last survivor of the fleet that attacked Pearl Harbor. Soon after, General Douglas MacArthur wades ashore on Leyte, famously declaring, "I have returned." The relentless island-hopping campaign continues. In February 1945, Marines land on the black volcanic sands of Iwo Jima. The iconic flag raising on Mount Suribachi becomes a symbol of American sacrifice and resolve. But the battle is a nightmare. The Japanese defenders, led by General Tadamichi Kuribayashi, fight from a complex network of caves and tunnels, making every inch of ground a bloody struggle. Nearly 6,000 Marines die to secure the island, whose airfields will save the lives of countless B-29 crewmen needing to make emergency landings. Then comes Okinawa. From April to June 1945, it is the bloodiest battle of the Pacific War. The Japanese unleash a new, terrifying weapon, the Kamikaze, suicide plane Zeros packed with explosives and even rocket-powered Oka bombs slam into the American fleet. The carrier USS Bunker Hill is turned into a floating inferno, sailors battling raging fires as their shipmates die around them. On land, the US 10th Army fights through mud, rain, and a deeply entrenched enemy. Flamethrowers and satchel charges are used to clear out the endless caves. Over 12,500 Americans die. Over 100,000 Japanese soldiers perish, along with tens of thousands of Okinawan civilians caught in the crossfire. By this point, American industrial might has become an unstoppable force. The US launched 28 Essex-class fleet carriers by the war's end, flooding the Pacific with air power. American submarines prowl the seas, strangling Japan's supply lines. The submarine USS Archerfish even manages to sink the Shinano, a brand new carrier converted from the hull of a Yamata-class battleship, before it can ever launch a single plane. Back in Tokyo, Emperor Hirohito tours the bomb-shattered ruins of his capital, his face grim. Whispers of surrender grow louder, but military hardliners refuse to yield, preparing for a final, suicidal defense of the home islands. The prophecy of Admiral Yamamoto, who warned of awakening a sleeping giant, has come true in the most terrible way imaginable. The cities are burning, the fleet is gone, and the people are starving. Yet the war drags on. A terrible resolve has met an unbreakable will. As the B-29s continue their relentless flights, a single question hangs in the air. What new, terrifying force could possibly break this deadlock and finally bring the war to an end? Thanks for watching. If you found this glimpse into history compelling, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video.